Okay, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers. This is part 2 of prepping your models for UDK. So we're going to go ahead and in this video we're going to talk about how to import your objects into the content browser. So before we do that though, I want you to know what the directory UDK is in. So we're going to go to my computer, into the C drive, and go down to UDK. And whatever the latest version of UDK is, and we're going to go into UDK game and then content, and then you'll place all your packages in here, and all the maps that you create, levels, will be saved here. Okay, so packages here under content, and maps or levels in the maps folder. Alright, just want to let you know about that, and then we're going to go into UDK, into the content browser, and we're going to go ahead and just collapse these. First thing we're going to do is, in the content browser, we're going to go ahead and import our models. So we'll start doing that. It's going to be a long process. You'll do one by one. So just find the folder that you are going to be grabbing your model from, and there we go. We'll do the Jeep first, and I want you, the package, I want you to name it your first underscore last name and call this package, and that's the name of the asset. And I think everything else here is good. Click OK. It may take a little while. Okay, so we've got our model here. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and I can rotate. I just double clicked on it, and this opens the static mesh editor, and I'm just kind of holding down the left mouse button and rotating around. I want to kind of get it a nice view. Okay, and it kind of gives me the approximate size, 91 by 158 by 85. That's the units in UDK. I would like to add a collision. So click on collision and go to just a simple collision. I'm going to go ahead and show the collision and turn that off. And the eye, I'm going to click on Save Thumbnail. Okay, we don't need to have this open right now, but I will do a couple things while I'm in here. I'm going to move this window in a little bit, and you're going to see LOD info, and I want you to open that up. I'm going to have two separate maps here. I've got the map 0 and map 1, and you'll just probably see 0 or 1, and we'll open that up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and minimize this. And the next thing we're going to open up is we're going to import the textures. So I'm going to go find the textures for that model. Okay, we've got the alpha, so I'm going to select all of these except for that one. And I'm going to click open. And it goes right to my package. This, you need to make sure that your package says your first underscore last underscore package, and we're going to be OK to all. Now we might have a problem with the alpha because the alpha map may need to have a blend mask. We'll see how it works. So right now we're going to do blend opaque for all of them. OK to all. Import failed. Let's see what happens here. and you may have some problems. I've had problems trying to import a bunch at the same time, so you could just import them one by one, but we'll see what happens. It may come out of it, I don't know. Let's see what it imported. Okay, we've got the color, the alpha map. Didn't like the alpha map, and I think I know why. I think the alpha map needs to be turned into an RGB. So right now we're going to go ahead and put the these on and make a new material. So at least get these on. So we got our specular, color map, our normal map. We've got our color, spec, and normal. I think that's what happened with the alpha map. It was not RGB. I think it was 8-bit. So I'll go back and change that. But right now, let's go ahead and create a material. This will get you started anyway. We're going to create a new material. And this new material's name is going to be Jeep. And it's going to be in the Jeff Byers package. Click OK. And it comes up with this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the object that you want to add in here. Right click over in here, do the texture, and new texture sample. There we go. So let's go and click on another one, the normal map. So texture, new texture sample, and then select the other one, and then click in here. Texture, new texture sample. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move this. Just hold the control key, move that up. And here's your spec. And here's the normal. Okay. So we're going to go out of black into diffuse for diffuse. We're going to go from this into the specular. I'm going to go in from the normal to normal. And then let's just imagine I've got the alpha map. So if I had it in here, let's just make the spec my alpha. And I go in here and create another one and go to texture. Texture sample. And we're going to, now since we don't see the opacity, this needs to have an opacity. So I need to plug this into there. So we are going to have to, let's see here, select anywhere in the viewport here. And let's go to material and go from blend mode to blend masked. And that opens up the opacity mask, and let's go ahead and plug it in there. There we go. So there's our opacity mask. And yeah, that's what we want. Mask. Now since it is not black and white, it's going to look kind of weird, so I'm going to disconnect it. So let's see if I can get rid of that. But that's how you connect it. So delete selected item. There we go. Okay, so we want to close this. It'll ask if we want to save. Yes. Right. So it has created a new material for us that's got everything we need. Okay, so that's our first one. Now our second one, material needs to be, it looks like there's some issues with my computer. Trying to use Camtasia and UDK and Maya at the same time, and it may not work very well. Yeah, okay, there we go. So, looks like it came back. We're going to click on this texture here, and right click and go to new material, and it won't show up, so I'll click over here and do new material. And it's trying to put something on the back of this. I don't want that. Click delete. We're going to call this Jeep body. Okay, and we will select the texture and right click on in here and go to texture, new texture sample. Select my specular map, right click, texture, new texture sample. One more, and that is the normal map. Right click, texture, new texture sample. And again, I can hold down the control key and move that around and get these in there. Okay. So now I'm going to connect the diffuse with the diffuse, specular with specular, and normal with normal. There we go, and I will close. You can see in here. I'm going to close this, and it'll ask me if I want to save. Yes, absolutely. Don't want to do that again. And you just wait for the material to come up. Okay, so we've got two materials and one static mesh. The 2D textures here, I think what I want to do is we will, let's see, move and rename. We want to put this in Jeff Byers textures. Click OK. And now I placed it over here in its own little texture area. So I just kind of want to get these out of here. Move and rename. And we want to go to textures. Okay. And click OK. So we're slowly moving those textures over because we're really not using them anymore. So I'm moving and renaming. Okay. And just continue that process until we want to keep the materials in static meshes. So let's go ahead and move and rename. Make sure the textures are going into the textures folder. Okay, and we have one more left. Okay, we got the last texture renamed. Whenever you, I realized that after doing some cutting, I realized that when I right-click over this area here, that Camtasia does not capture that. So when I'm clicking on this and you see my mouse going up, it doesn't look like I'm clicking on anything. But when you right-click over this area, it allows you to do a new material. So that's what was going on. And I realized you weren't able to see that. When you click on an object and you right-click over it, it gives you a different menu. So whenever you see me right-clicking or changing things and you don't see it in Camtasia, I apologize for that, but it's I don't know why it's not capturing that. But anyway, so we got my textures package here that we won't use, and I just wanted to clean up this area here, and now we need to apply the materials to the static mesh. So it looks like I'm going to move this over like this, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my static mesh editor. And now that I have this open and I've got all my materials, I just need to assign it to the static mesh, and so I'm going to place this down here. So I'm going to select the material, and I want the body, material 1, to go in here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the green arrow. So select the material, click on the green arrow, and it will place it on the mesh. Go to the other material, and I've got 2 on this one object, so I'm going to go ahead and get the other material on there as well, and this will be inputted into the 1. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Select the material, click on the green arrow, and it will pop it right into the mesh. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm finished with this. The only thing I need to do is you make sure that you save your package. So what you need to do is you need to click on it, make sure it's open, and you want to put all of your meshes in here. You don't want to create different packages for each item. You want to create one package for the entire assets that you were supposed to create, which is including your motel and your casino and all the buildings and all the static meshes and assets and props you were supposed to make. I want that all to be in one package. So what we're going to do now is we're going to right click on here and save, or Control S, and it will pop up as Jeff Byers package, and I want you to, of course it'll be your name package, and then click save. It'll save all the packages. Alright, so now it's been saved. Alright, so it looks like it disappeared, but it's still there. I just got to find it. Let's look under new packages and UDK content, under content. Okay, and there it is. It put it under. It's under the content maps all the way down at the bottom. Jeff Byers package. There it is. So I know where it is. Okay, and just moved it. And now we want to make sure we click on the static mesh, and we want to save that. Okay, we want to click on the material and save that one. We want to click on the other material and save it. So you want to save these individually. Now let me open this up a little bit more. There we go. So my package. Okay, and it looks like we got something blank here. So instead of removing it, I'm wondering if it wants to see it. I don't know. So I'm just going to leave it. So we're done in the content browser. Okay. Alright, and if you get all that finished, then you can test your objects Let's go ahead and we're done in here as well. I do want to kind of get a interesting view of this. I'm going to go ahead and do a snapshot and close this up. Let's go back in the content browser real quick, and to load these objects you got to click on the mesh and drag and drop it onto your scene. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and let's go in here and see how the scale is. It looks like it's a little small. Yeah, it looks like it's off the ground. So let's take a look from the side view. I'm going to go up into this little corner here. And it looks like it's on the plane. It doesn't look like it's on the plane in the viewport, but I think it's because the shadows need to be updated. So I'm going to click on Build All. So as this is building, I'm going to check scale, make sure the scale is okay. It looks a little small, so I might have to make adjustments. So you may want to just bring one of your objects in at a time to test it to make sure it looks okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play from here and see how it looks. It looks kind of small. Yeah. So I was off on scale a little bit. Alright, so let me escape this and let's kind of see how big we actually need to make it. I'm hitting the space bar. Let's scale this up, and this is why we put the pivot point at the bottom, so we can scale things appropriately. And at this point I'm not sure if it's that big of a deal. Let's see, that might be too big. Okay, let's try that. And every time you make a change, just build all. It'll take a few moments depending on how fast your computer is. And when you get all your objects in, it's going to take a long time to build, so hopefully you have a fast computer or you just build when you're at the school. Okay, let's play from here. Oh, that looks a little better. Yep, that looks about right. It's a little bit big. Okay. So scale is a big issue. Just got to make sure you do the best you can. So scaling at 16 wasn't quite big enough, so I might have to do 18, test that out for scale in Maya. Scaling up, I was telling you to do 16. Okay. Alright, well, that's it for now, and that's how you get your objects in, and so have a fun time getting all those materials on your vehicles and props and buildings. Make sure you test all your packages first before you hand them off to anybody, and I'll see you next time.